Welcome into the Mountaineers Now postgame show. Schuyler Callihan here with Christopher Hall, live from the WVU Coliseum. West Virginia drops to 0-4 in Big 12 play. They fall to Baylor 83-78. Let's jump right into the numbers. Jalen Bridges, in his return to Morgantown, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Didn't really factor that much into this game. It was really the backcourt of LJ Cryer, Adam Flagler, and the true freshman phenom, Keontae George, who exploded for 32 points in this one. 10 of 18 from three, 5 of 9 from three-point range. Trey Mitchell, 14 points and 15 rebounds, uncharacteristically going 8 of 12 from the free throw line. Again, West Virginia struggling as a team at the charity stripe, going 24 of 33. And a side note, Joe Toussaint chipping in 20 points off the bench. So Chris, it was a slow start to this one for sure for both teams. Neither side could really get a shot to fall. It seemed like it was going to be a slow-paced, slug-it-out type game. Pace really picked up in the second half. Both teams post 50-point halves in the second half. Baylor pulls away. What led to the Bears pulling out as the victors in this
one? It's always the same thing. They didn't make enough shots. I feel even though they lost to an 0-3 Baylor team, obviously Keontae George carried that team tonight. Kid made everything, even with a hand in his face. I don't know what else you can do. It's not like you could double team them because they have other shooters on the floor. So, I mean, tip of the cap to that kid. He played unbelievable. Freshman playing in a hostile environment. I don't know what else you could do with him. I think if I read correctly, only had 7 turnovers. One at the end was, obviously the most costly because ended up putting Baylor up 6. So probably hit those free throws at the end. I think the only culprits that missed were Mitchell and Toussaint was the only ones that missed free throws. They also went to the line the most. So that's going to happen. But there's so much talk about defense and Huggins talked yesterday about the will to win. I thought these guys actually, laid it all out there. As bad as it is to start 0-4, they're still playing hard. And I feel like they took a step forward tonight, as crazy as that sounds. They're starting to gel together. They're starting to figure it out, although in baby steps. There was a bright spot to this loss, and that was it. These guys are willing to do what it takes to try to find a way to win. So as long as they do that, continue to stay in the gym to correct their shooting. It looked like they had what did you say, 50 points in the second half. They started out, I believe, around 4 or 5 from 3-point range in the second half. So it was just one of those nights where just nothing went right for them. If it wasn't for good luck, if it wasn't for bad luck, they wouldn't have any luck at all. And that's really seems like the motto that was tonight. Just when you have a hand in the kid's face and you shouldn't be on NBA range, and he still makes it. What else can you do at that point?
I mean, the shot at the end of the half that was ridiculous.
Yeah, he's falling out of bounds, and
I thought he stepped out of bounds, to be honest.
Yeah, he did not.
Really didn't. But speaking of 3-point shooting, talked about Joe Toussaint, but Seth Wilson, he had a nice night off the bench too. Was it 3 from beyond the arc? So it seems like he's a guy that's really starting to come along. We heard about him really the last year and a half or so from Huggins talking about how he could be kind of like a Taz Sherman type of shooter. What do you like about his game, and does he really need to step up if Eric Stevenson continues to struggle?
Yeah, but I'd like to see him take that shot at the end. I know Toussaint took it, faked the handoff to him. I'd like him, Seth to shoot that shot. He's a better shooter. He is fearless, and that's what you want in a player. That was a kid that, when asked in the offseason if he thought about transferring, just absolutely not. So he's a Huggins player, and he's a scorer. So he's steadily progressing, and you saw that double pump in the midair 3-pointer at the top of the key that he drained. I think was that in the first half, early second half, whatever it was. Yeah, that was a heck of a shot. Stevenson, I just feel like right now has lost confidence. I think he's in his own head after those first 2 games, and you could really say that about the team when it came defensively against Kansas. Foul 60-plus times. The first 2 games, you make an effort not to put yourself in that position. They played better defense tonight, and the fouls collected up on the guys you didn't want to get foul trouble. Keedy, Trey Mitchell, and Eric Stevenson. Jimmy Bell got in early foul trouble. So again, it's just like they take a step and it's just like something else is holding them back. You can't have those guys in foul trouble. Can't have Mitchell out there at the end of the game. It's a different game if he's in there. So don't really know what you do. The teams are going to continue to attack them to try to get in foul trouble. West Virginia's going to have to just kind of try to do the same thing. Just attack their stars, try to get them in foul trouble, get them off the floor.
Yeah, and I think the Baylor 0-3 start to Big 12 plays are kind of a little kind of deceiving. I mean, when you look at their two of their three losses came by a total of 3 points, one which was in overtime to Kansas State. I mean, they're a good team. They really are. I have a feeling we're going to look back at Baylor in this game really in a couple of weeks and say, wow, like this is probably where Baylor turns the corner and starts to rattle off wins and really kind of re-enter the mix for the Big 12 title. So I don't know if this is a bad loss by any means. I wouldn't characterize that at all, but definitely, like you said, I think they took a step defensively. I thought for the most part they played fairly well. They gave up a couple of open shots, but you're going to have that against that good of a backcourt. So we'll see. Lastly, before we get out of here, news broke just before the game, actually as you were on the way to the Coliseum, that Jose Perez will not be able to play this year. West Virginia submitted the appeal for the waiver, and they waited around for about a month, and they finally got their answer today, and it was denied once again. So just your thoughts on that whole situation, how it affects West Virginia this year, and even moving forward in the next season.
I'll quote Hugs. The NCAA don't know what the hell they're doing.
Repeat.
They never know what they're doing. It's crazy. He was asked if Jose will come back next year. Obviously, he still has a year of eligibility. So I mean, nobody knows. You know, well, only Jose knows. So he's got a decision to make. Basketball is taken away from him for a year. But we know that he could probably go get paid immediately overseas, at least. Don't know what his goals are, with the world of basketball. So we haven't got to talk to him. Don't know that much about Jose yet to see where his kind of mental is. Obviously, he's going to be upset. Again, just got the game that he loves was taken away from him for a year. Tough decision to see what he's going to have to do. He's been on the scout team here, so he hasn't even really got to practice with the team yet, other than just being mirroring the next opponent's best player.
Yeah,
Wait and see on Jose.
It's a weird world that we live in where a football coach can take a different job and 2 weeks later go coaching that new team's bowl game, but this kid can't play in a basketball game. Don't know. That's the NCAA.
Well, we can use Jarrett Dagey, who left Western Kentucky after he didn't win the starting job, and then went and played for Troy in the same year. So
unbelievable.
Here
That's
we are.
the NCAA in a nutshell for you. West Virginia again falling to Baylor 83-78. 0-4 in Big 12 play. We'll be back Saturday to wrap up West Virginia, Oklahoma, a pair of 10-6 teams that desperately need a win. Really, West Virginia has got to get one under their belt here soon. So West Virginia, Oklahoma tipping off at 12 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2 for Christopher Hall. I'm Schuyler Callihan. Be sure to smash that subscribe button on YouTube at Mountaineers Now and follow us on Twitter at Mountaineers Now as well. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys Saturday evening.